Welcome to the OMG Podcast. I'm Sam, and with me today I've got
John.
I'm Kaylan.
And Kaylan. So John and Kaylan are best described, or I would best describe them as entrepreneurs. They've got a business that is so unique. Other than these two guys, I don't know anywhere else that does what they do. But there are a couple of other places, but these guys are the OG. Tell us what you do.
We're cryotherapists. So we own Cryohub. Quick breakdown of what cryotherapy is.
Yeah.
You go into one of our nitrogen chambers where your body's exposed to cold temperatures between minus 120 and 140 for a short period of 3 minutes. By doing so, your head's exposed the whole time. So your body will go through a thermal shock. So your body's like, fucking hell, what's going on? It will start to produce millions of new blood cells. By doing so, we draw inflammation and swelling out of the body. That's a brief description.
Sounds pretty good. In fact, I know it's pretty good because I'm a customer of yours and I love it.
Proof.
I'm living proof, absolutely. I haven't, it hasn't taken years off me, but I think I've got a little bit more of a spring in my step than I had.
Preserved you internally.
Exactly that. Yeah. So how did you guys come together?
Well, basically, I've known Kaylan for a long time. We've always been pals. I know he's got a successful business already. I've got a good business already. We were speaking one day, talking about maybe going into business together. And then I'd already been working in the background on planning a cryotherapy business. And I said to Kaylan, I think I'm onto a winner. I think I've found something that's unique to Bedford. There's not many around. Something we can make affordable and accessible to the public. And he said, all right, hit me with it. What is it? And I said, cryotherapy. And he said, okay, explain more. I said, right, tonight we'll go out for something to eat. I went and met him. I come and see you, didn't I? And then showed you what I had planned.
From there, we become a married couple.
There you go. I won't ask who the wife is.
So, we started from there. So, in a sense of, he came to me, I was cleaning his car. I'm a...
Oh, so you were the wife?
Yeah, so I was the wife.
Yeah, still is.
Basically. Getting divorced soon.
Yeah.
But so it came to concept of, I was saying to John that I'm searching for something new, rooting for something down a different avenue. I was going through, I wouldn't call it a midlife crisis, but I was going through a phase of, had grievance from losing a brother, from going into, I'll talk more on that, especially on this on the concept of the business of why it came, and told John, look, I'm after, I want to do something new. In that process, I was like in the transition of taking out my own home, doing my first big steps to being a homeowner and adulting.
Yeah.
So it was a big jump for me, and at that time, John had proposed this proposition to me that I couldn't say no, or I couldn't turn down the thought of hearing him out and seeing what this is. So we came for this meeting, we met up for dinner, and John walks in with his Bible, and we're just sitting there in a sense. I'm like, right, what's that?
Let me just stop you. Not a literal Bible.
No, a literal Bible, a cryotherapy Bible.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he sat down, I've looked through it, and I'm not really saying much. I'm looking, and I'm just thinking, I'm blown. Like,
I've done my homework.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to ask him in a sense of, I was looking through, and it was an amazing concept. And I was brought through it, but I was like scratching my head, not physically, but in my head thinking, I'm just in the process of just bought a house, and this concept is too good for me to want to say no.
Yeah.
So in a sense of, I went back, brought it over, discussed, but came to mind I was doing it anyway. In my head, I'm impulsive with things. I was sold.
But every question he had was on the next page. The answer, wasn't it? It was so funny.
So within a week, we were already up the other side of England, looking at cryotherapy chambers, looking at different kind of chambers.
Moved fast.
We had impulsive. When I mean two guys that are impulsive with decisions, we had brought the
super impulsive now.
I mean
drive. Drive.
I mean it was this impulsive. We turn up there a week later. Brought a chamber without a premises.
Really?
The panic was
where did you keep it? In your garage sort of thing? Or?
We managed to get the premises in time.
It was 6 weeks to manufacture.
Okay, so you had 6 weeks effectively to find.
I mean,
your
trying to get a premises was a
6
nightmare.
proposals I had to do. I was coming back to John, mate, he's turned this one down. Look, there's other properties available. I'm like, no, we want this one. 6 proposals time, and we managed.
7th one, they was like, you guys are so persistent, there must be something about you. I'm going to give you a shot. He goes, if you was a barber shop, you could open tomorrow. But like, well, there's 4 on the street already. Obviously, he didn't know what cryotherapy was. He didn't know if it was going to take off. I'm not moaning about that. That's understandable, but he did slow the process up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
As soon as we got in there and we'd done the shop up to a high standard, as you know, like you've been to the shop.
It's a fab shop, absolutely.
He says, "Oh, God, you guys are doing so well." I said, "Well, we'd have been doing even better if you let us start before." But if it weren't for Kaelan sending so many proposals, we could have just said, "Oh, do you know what?
We'll find somewhere else."
Yeah, find somewhere else." But we'd looked at
ambition.
about 5 or 6 before, and we were going in there with. And then this one, we walked in. It was like
there.
Christmas time.
It was sold there.
And I was like, yeah, we looked at it. We both looked at each other. I was like, this is the one.
It just felt right.
Yeah, it felt right, Sam. We had the waiting room. We wanted a waiting room, a main chamber room, a compression room, and a localised room. You've seen the layout. I mean, the layout works. Bang on. And so basically, we got the shop.
Envisioned it literally as it was as we walked through. It was owned by a different company at that time, but we had walked through and said, this is going to go there, that's going to be here. Before we knew it, plan to paper, it was happening.
They were sort of, how it's laid up now, it's how crazy it is. It's identical to the drawings that I kind of manifested, like I'd had drawn out, even down to where we've got our canvases on the wall. I mean, I had pictures, I'll show you, Kaelan, it's like 2 years before we even knew we were doing it.
There you go.
Like, obviously we believed in it. I think when I went and see Kaelan, he's kind of invested in me as a person because he see how much passion and drive I had about these sort of treatments, and I think it was a no-brainer.
I would relate that to any brilliant products that someone not even tries to sell you, but presents to you.
Yeah.
Half of it is the product, but a big part of me is I'll buy that product for the person that's presenting it.
Was you happy with your treatment? Because I believe I'd done your first one, so you see the energy. Like me and you click straight away.
Well, I've clicked with both of you. You're both
100%.
Both brilliant guys. I tell all my friends about the Cryohub.
Appreciate
I stick it all over my social media.
Yeah, you do.
And people ask me, what is it? And I explain it. Some don't understand. Some get it and they think it's mad and crazy, and why would you want to freeze yourself for 3 minutes at minus 150?
It sounds bizarre.
It does sound mental.
Yeah.
And others are like, that's not normal. But others are, that sounds good. Give me their number. Yeah. And as you know, quite a few of my friends
100%
have come to see you and they're loving it. And I know
your friends recommended you, didn't they? Two of your close friends who are like members of our shop. So they recommended
Sean and Gareth. And, so they came along. Oh, you mean the people who recommended you? Sorry. Yeah, Spoonie and Laura.
Yeah.
Big up Spoonie and Laura.
Yeah. Big up, guys.
Yeah, they're long-term customers.
Yeah.
And I think Laura mentioned it first. She was like, you should try it, you should try it.
Yeah.
And I'm hooked. So there you go. Get them on commission. They'll be doing well.
1,000,000%.
So you've explained a little bit about how you came together.
Yeah.
You've explained how John gave you the Bible and you were instantly sold on the idea.
Yeah.
You got your shop. What next?
What's the next jump? So we're aiming to, we want to be UK-wide, nationwide. The aim is to have more than what we have, the passion behind it and the root of driving it and the belief behind it is going to happen. It will happen. It's in fruition. We're literally in the process of looking at further shops to open this year.
Brilliant.
So the next step is really taking them steps and really showing people to the world, it will be to the world one day, but to
at least nationally
to people that how great this cryotherapy is.
I think most importantly, like we believe in it. I'm sort of living from my goal every day. Like I always
it must
think.
Be, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nah, sure.
It must be reassuring to know that you're helping people as
100%.
well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm living proof of it with my condition.
Absolutely.
What got me basically medication free, coming from 11 tablets a day to none.
11 a day. 11 tablets a day to nothing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's testament.
Game changer.
That's
what it was.
to the treatment itself.
100%.
Are there any customers, we don't have to mention names obviously, but are there any customers that spring to mind that have had life-changing improvements or benefits?
So many. I'll name one to a few where we had this young lady that came into our shop at the age of 16. She was wheelchair bound. She was suffering from long-term COVID.
Okay.
So she had microclots to the legs. Wow. So she wasn't able to withstand the weight there on her legs. Mm-hmm. And her mum come to us as like a last beck and call to say, if this doesn't help, I'm going to be going to Germany to attempt an operation for my daughter that may not work.
Wow.
and for the price of through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, over £8,500 for this operation that may not work.
Wow.
And within 6 sessions with this lady, bless her mum, she was almost literally like, if this don't work, it don't work. At least I've tried from this avenue. But within her 6th session, I was awaiting her appointment to come through, and she was a bit early, so I was surprised. I was out doing something in the shop, tidying up, and I've heard like a silent walk through. And normally when it was her, I would rush to the door to get the door to allow him to come through. But I've gone through and she's standing.
Not in the wheelchair?
Not in a wheelchair. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute. 6 sessions in, and I'm thinking, she's standing. She goes, yep, she's been weight bearing. She's able to walk an hour a day without feeling tired.
Amazing.
I'm like, hang on a minute. Brought me, whelped me, made me feel, you know, like...
It is overwhelming to see that. It was more to see the mum.
Yeah.
I know like how surprised she was.
That's really good.
Because her mum was at that last call of wanting to do something. And I rang John after that. I was like, John, you're never going to believe it. I go, this is why we do what we do.
100%.
Because seeing someone come in for that, just to help them, it prizes over anything. The reward, the payment, the scheme to that. It's the benefits we give to people when they leave our shop. You come in and you end up leaving a whole lot better than what you did when you came
There's
in.
another guy that springs to mind, which was Dave. So shout out Dave. He come in. He was quite a big gentleman, very tall guy, bulging discs in his back, and he was quite negative to start with. I'm glad he was, to be fair. He come in with his wife.
Wasn't open to the.
No, he
treatment.
said, "Oh, I've tried acupuncture, cupping. Why is this going to help?" And his wife was like, "Look, shut up, just listen to the man." So I was explaining the routine. He done it anyway. We done the chamber, so he's in there for 3 minutes. He was exposed to the cold. He come out, and then instead of sitting down on the chair after he'd got dressed, he bent down and put his trainer on. And his wife went, "Hold on a minute." I was like, what? Like, he goes, "You just put your shoe on. You ain't been able to do that for 18 months.
With one treatment?
With one treatment. This was 180 seconds, Sam. 180 seconds.
Wow.
Obviously, we took the inflammation and the swelling straight out. He noticed different. He went straight down, done it up. He couldn't believe it. He did. He patted me on the back. He goes, "I'm sorry, lad, for being so negative." He goes, "I'm just sick of being in pain." I said, "It's understandable." But his goal was, when he first come in, I said, "What's the goal, David?" He goes, "To do 1 lap of the park, pain-free." And he actually had my personal mobile number. And he rang me later on that evening. I thought, oh, God, he's ringing. I answered. Yeah. And he goes, he's done 5 laps of the park, pain-free. And
amazing.
he was, he used it another 2 or 3 times just to make sure we got all the inflammation, everything cleared out. He was buzzing. He was really apologetic. I'm glad he was quite negative.
It shows that you can turn people's mindset.
I was very positive. I said to him, "You've got to kind of trust the process. You know, you don't want to go in somewhere like, that ain't going to work." You know, like, which he did. And it kind of shocked him. It didn't really shock me because I was very confident in what we do at Cryohub anyway. Yeah. Because some of the benefits and results we've had. So that was another good moment, to be fair.
That's cool, man. It is an amazing business. It's an amazing practice. And I'm going to keep coming. So,
Well, one of our members now, Sammy boy.
There we go. I'm in.
You're in.
So, right, let's get to the crux of why we're here, the OMG podcast.
Yes.
I want either of you could take turns or argue over who goes first, just to discuss a couple of your OMG moments, oh my God moments in life. And like I said to you before we started this, they can be positive, they can be negative, because we've all had negative moments that have shocked us or made us stop and think, oh my God.
Yeah.
Or oh my gosh, if you're a religious person.
I'll start it off with one lady then. You know what a lady's going to be. Yep. We had a lady that kept parking over our customer parking bay at the back of the building. So one day I've gone out there, I said, "Oh, you do realise these are for paying customers for the shop or whatnot?" And she goes, "Oh, well, what do you do in there?" And I said, "Oh, we're cryotherapists." She said, "What is that?" I said, we deal with pain relief, rejuvenation of the body, etc. She goes, "Oh, that sounds like, I'd like to try that." So I said, "Okay, cool." So she booked on for later on that day. So she was the last client. So she's come in, everything's going well, doing the treatment.
Explain the chamber, that how the chamber is, that people.
So the chamber looks like a big battery when you walk in. So the chamber will open up. You've got your extractions when the nitrogen comes out, and then there's an electric lift. So me and Kaylin, we stand on a plastic stool, so we're height, so you can focus on me the whole time.
And our head sticks out.
Your head's exposed out the top the whole time. Yeah, that's correct. So basically, I put her in. I'm standing on my stool. It's got to about 10 seconds, so I'm preparing to start to get her out. We place a collar over your head that keeps the nitrogen in the chamber. We do it up with a little bungee bit, and then it undoes like that. So basically, I've done the treatment. I said, right, I'm going to get you out. I've undone it. I've gone to whip it off. Have you know, you've been in there. I've whipped it off. But it's whipped off the wig as well.
The wig?
So I didn't realise. By then, I've fell through the stool, but I've caught the wig with one hand. And just out of nowhere, I've sort of jumped up and slam dunked it back on. So it was kind of like that. The lady laughed as well, but I felt myself just boiling hot. Like, I rang him. I said, bro, you ain't going to believe what's just happened. I said, you know that lady that keeps parking over the thing?
Just ripped
She's
her wig
come
off.
in, I've ripped her head off. And then just slam dunked it back on. That was one was like, he said, oh, if only we had a camera, but in that room where people get undressed.
You can't put
Obviously, we
camera.
don't have cameras, but that was a moment. I even felt like my fingernails were sweating. I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe, only me that would happen to.
Literally,
That was
Did
one
she
of
come
them
back?
moments. She didn't come back, actually, no, but she did enjoy the treatment. She just didn't come back, yeah. She wasn't local to Bedford.
That's
I'm
what
putting
she
it down
told you
to.
anyway.
Yeah.
She lived in Putney or somewhere. Miles away from Kempston.
That was one of the moments.
How about you, Kay?
Yeah, so moments within like in the shop, definitely like a positive moment in the sense of there was being able to help this gentleman just recently, you know, like it was a big OMG because he came into the shop and he was just like, you know what, is this going to help me? Am I going to feel any better? And I'm like, I'll reassure you, you're going to leave here feeling better. That's one thing I can reassure you.
Yeah.
And within that treatment, I had done it. He had suffered with this pain, very similar to mine, was bursitis at the back of his Achilles.
Okay.
And within the first session of him doing it, he had got up and he was already walking. He was almost sliding the feet across the floor. But he had almost left here feeling amazing. He was like, rung us the next day, left a voicemail. John
He
called
left
me
us
and
a
he goes,
voice note.
you need to listen to this voice note for you. He goes, you need to listen. And this guy goes, look, I'm not no man made of crap. He goes, I speak the honest truth. And he goes, I cannot speak highly enough of you guys and what you do. He goes, I've woke up this morning for the first time in 6 months and I'm able to just wait there. He goes, and get out of bed. He goes, I have not spoke so highly of you guys already to the work colleagues.
Buzzing,
where I work."
like, it's amazing.
He was
to
like,
hear.
it is unreal, man. And then, like, to us, I was pinching myself just seeing that. Even down to this other gentleman that was going through he's going through the mental side of things, you know, transitioning life and changing. And he's come to us and he goes, just for having that half an hour that he's with us, he goes to him, he goes, is so appreciative of the time.
It's
and
some
the
sort of
gems.
therapy, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
massive.
And we're good listeners. We're
Yeah.
good listeners. We're strangers to some of these clients. So I think maybe they feel they can open up a bit more to me and
You're
Caitlin.
completely objective.
Not just men. I mean, females as well. Like, I think the hub, we kind of base it on, it's an all-round vibe. It's a good experience. We'll have a bit of banter. Not everything's all serious. You know, like, we're very professional, but we're normal blokes at the same time. Like, and I think if we can listen to someone who's not spoke to anyone else, I think opening up and speaking about things is massive. Like,
I mean, mental health is a big thing at the minute. It's bigger than it's ever
100%,
been. And
100%.
We are the biggest advocates of that under our roof, massively, especially going through a cycle or witnessing a mental health well-being as to losing my brother 4
do you want
years
to
ago.
tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I lost my brother due to mental health
Okay.
through literally going through the struggles of life. And believe it or not, from someone that was coming from a successful life, was married, had children, a homeowner, had everything that you could almost attain to want to have in life. And
But mentally, he was
mentally
struggling.
he was struggling and took his own life, sadly. And where it just shows you in life that it's okay not to be okay.
100%.
It's okay to understand that in a sense of in life is one train journey. In life, you know, things go, you know, some things drop off, some things get back on. You know, it's like people in life, things and transitions happen, and
100%.
you have to trust the process and don't be too hard on yourself in a sense of that, and just know that where that voice is safe and where them ears are to listen, always talk.
Embrace
you know?
it, absolutely.
We do that in the Cryohub a lot. The first thing when you walk into that shop is, how are you today?
Yeah.
You know, what's things been up to? It allows you that chance to alleviate, whether you want to with me or not. I would love to
You
hear
present
so.
the
I
opportunity.
think it's more with men. Like, I don't know if it's an drop your ego, not ego, but you don't have to be so
I think
manly.
I think it is ego.
Yeah.
With
Okay,
men.
maybe
Big time.
it might be that, but I mean,
Yeah.
I've sort of spoke to some people.
Men don't talk about problems.
Nah,
in
yeah.
general. In
Stigma.
general. Yeah.
Big stigma.
Yeah.
I think if people opened up a bit more, I mean, for the sake of me and Kaylin listening to you, and it can save someone doing something to themselves, I think that's rewarding enough.
Or even
you know,
other
like-
people. Cause
And we get loads of people say like, "Thanks for your time." Like, you don't have to thank us. Like, that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we provide a good service. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but if we can help on other side of things, then we'd be more than happy to do
Why
that.
would you
Like,
not?
yeah,
Exactly.
of course. Like, being
That's what the
kind.
hub's
There's
about.
nothing wrong with being kind.
As the hub is defined, it's more than one thing under one roof. It facilitates for many things. That's why the hub came to that. It's a big thing
Yeah.
for advocating for people. When you come in, you're the star of the show. You're number one. How can we help you? What
Even
can
if
we
you are
offer
freezing your tits off at
Yeah,
minus
too.
150
You know, I'm
degrees.
here.
It's
with
not as bad as it sounds.
No, it
like.
isn't. It's not as bad as it sounds.
And we offer other treatments like you've experienced.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit. We'll digress slightly, but tell us a little bit about the other treatments. Tell us about the. So you offer a package which I know I use.
Yeah.
And a few of my friends do,
Yeah.
called Freeze and Squeeze.
Freeze and squeeze. That's
So we know
correct.
about the freezy bit.
Yeah.
Tell us about the squeezy bit.
Squeeze is we chose Normatec as being the leading brand, which is the best brand of compression treatments. So basically, a freeze and squeeze, you'd have your freeze first, i.e. the chamber. Then you'd have a squeeze. So we do a range of compression treatments. Normally, people would go for on your first session full leg compressions. So your leg would be in compression sleeves. Basically, what that does, it grabs any lactic acid, any fluid buildup from the feet,
So a compression sleeve is basically like a sleeve of a jacket or a sleeve
which
of
zips
a
up
trouser
your
leg.
hold all the way to your groin.
Okay.
So it'll start to squeeze everything out of your feet. It will then push it above your ankle bones so nothing can seep back down. Then it will squeeze it above your kneecap. Once it gets into your quad, it then releases it back into your natural blood flow. It rejuvenates your white blood cells. So it's good for circulation.
What about the time where I fell asleep in them? That was an OMG.
Yeah.
In your
So
freezing
our
thing.
client
Only he
walked-
would do that.
Client walked in, so John's come in. We just got the new compression, so we've got the full body. We've got the ones for the arms and ones for the legs. So I said to John, before you go, let me test them out in one.
So you look
I
like
put
the
the arms
Michelin
in,
man.
literally like the Michelin.
Sprawled
built
out.
Yeah.
So John's put me in this chair. Half an hour. I've ended up falling asleep within that, literally, because I had 45 minutes until my next client. I've literally fallen asleep, woken up to the alarm walking through the door. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but I'm stuck in these these
can't get out.
compressions. I've had to ask the client that's walked in, please, could you come through to
Can I
unclip me?
unzip you?
I
I'm
couldn't
out
get
the back
myself
filling up
out.
the nitrogen, unaware of this donut's in there, strapped down to the
Brilliant.
chair.
Hilarious
classic.
moments. Honestly, there's been like so many in a sense of like between ourselves and like going through in the shop, like some funny.
The localized treatments are good as well. Like we do a targeted cryo. So, for example, we're treating a gentleman at the moment who's had ankle reconstruction. He can't physically stand unaided, so he wouldn't be able to stand in the chamber.
Yeah.
So we treat him in our localized room on the bed where we use nitrogen still, but it's coming from a hose. So it's basically
Yeah.
from a wand where we
So
treat
direct,
that area.
yeah.
It's direct. It's more pinpoint. Say, for example, tennis elbow or boxers, because when you go in the chamber, you wear gloves. Boxers, smashed up knuckles, we treat inflammation and swelling and bring it out of their hands by using localized. Also facials, which promotes collagen, anti-aging and skin tightening.
So how does that work? You blast it over faces?
Over your face, yeah. So
Okay.
basically, everyone has brown fat cells. So say, for example, you went on a diet, your brown fat cells then shrink. But by using nitrogen, even though we freeze the face, it burns away your brown fat cells. So it's anti-aging, it's skin tightening.
Might have to try that one. So you were telling us about your van moment.
That was Kaylin's van moment.
Caelan's van moment.
That was a famous moment at the Cryohub. It's marked there. I've left my mark on the old Cryohub wall. So I just come from a sports massage and rush in to get back to the shop. See, I got a client coming. So I'm rushing back to the shop. I've got back. This massage has really put me into like that sleepy,
That deep
nausea
state.
mode. Oh my gosh. So I've come in now, rushing clients at the door, waiting. It's like I'm 5 minutes to get there. Just pulled up. As I've turned into the Cryohub, I've literally turned too soon. So all I've heard is...
You took the side of the wall out.
So I'm like, hang on a minute.
Crashed into the shop.
Reversed out. Come back again.
You did it again?
Done it again.
Did it again. I'm like,
Unbelievable.
no. Parked up. Looked at it. I thought, my client's there. I've
Yeah.
got to wing this. I've got to act like nothing's just happened right now. I'm fuming. I'm literally thinking, I didn't even want to look at the van. I've just rushed in, Got to the client, I thought, do I tell this client like what I've just done?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I have to. I can't believe it. It's like, so I've gone in there. I've said to the client, I go, look, I hate to be like, it's in Russia. I go, I've just crashed my car into the van my van into the wall. I thought, oh, you know what? Least of it. I thought, you know what? Damage is done. It's done. Left it with John. John's like, yeah, we'll just get him mucked up. I know a lad that's a brickie. He can come and do it. So we thought, yeah, we'll get it sorted. Next minute, all like little did I know, I've got the landlord ringing me.
Wow.
Kalen, do you know what you did to this wall? I go, yeah. I go, how do you know? He goes, well, the lads across the road have rung us up saying that you was the one that did it. I go, right.
So
I go, okay. I go, it is sorted though. He goes, yeah, but he goes, I'm going to have to get the structural engineers out for 2 bricks in the wall.
Wow.
So yeah, it was one of them.
Has your driving got any better since?
No.
So I've gone on some collision courses ever since.
He's always rushing.
Yeah, always rushing.
God's sake.
Literally, I'm terrible in a sense of that way.
I'm one. I'd rather be an hour early
I'm the same.
than 5 minutes late.
I'm exactly the
Yeah.
same.
I'm anxious about stuff like that.
Yeah.
As a kid growing up, my dad was late for everything. We were late for family meals. We were late for parties. I remember we went to a family friend's daughter's wedding. I was only about 10, and we were so
on the bride.
No. We were so late that we got there as they were walking out and throwing confetti.
No way.
So we just stood there and started throwing
my
confetti.
God.
Like he was there blending,
Just mucking in.
Yeah, and because I knew how embarrassing and annoying and frustrating being late was, I'm exactly like you. I'd rather be an hour late.
I am like that. My missus is always like, babe, we've got ages. I'm like, no, I'd rather wait outside and be early. I have anxiety because of that.
I get the same.
I'm looking at the clock. I know I'm an hour early. I'm thinking, well, now I'm only 59 minutes early. I'm not that early. Like, I'd rather do that than be all flustered.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, just chill.
I hate being late. Being late makes me feel sick.
I'm gonna start taking that out of your book.
Yeah.
I need to.
It's not good, man.
That's why I brought it up.
Cheers, man.
I remember when I worked in TV production, a friend of a friend had got me a job with a sports management agency.
Right.
And at the time, they'd just signed David Beckham.
Okay, wow.
So they were big. And this guy's office was on Old Bond Street in London. And the friend had hooked me up with half an hour interview, or at least a chat with the potential of getting some work with him.
Right, yeah.
Half an hour, this guy, the CEO of this company, John Holmes, his name was. And he said, he's got half an hour for you, but that's all you've got. He's super busy. Yeah. And I said, okay. So anyway, I bombed it from Flitwick to St Pancras.
Right.
Got on the tube, went to whatever closest station was to Old Bond Street. I jumped in a taxi and said, can you take me to this address? 357, which was at the other end of the station. He got me there in 5 minutes. I rang the buzzer, said, hi, I'm here for John Holmes. And they said, no, there's no one by John Holmes here. So is this 357 Old Bond Street? She went, yeah. I said, it's the address I've got. Hang on. I looked again. It was New Bond Street.
No way.
Not Old Bond Street.
No way.
No.
Yeah, so I'm feeling sick. I'm literally gagging.
Yeah.
Right, so I jumped in another taxi. My palms are sweating. They're
Yeah.
sweating now.
Yeah,
The story.
Yeah.
And I got there and I rang the buzzer at New Bond Street. I said, hi, it's Sam. I've come to see John. And they went, yeah, you were meant to be here like 26 minutes ago. I said, I know. I'm really sorry. Had a technical issue. And the guy, he saw me for about 10 minutes. He should have only seen me for 3 or 4.
Yeah.
He saw me for 10 minutes and he said, one thing I'm very prompt on is punctuality.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, me too. And he just looked at his watch and said, okay, nice.
I think if you're in a leadership
to
role,
meet you.
timing is having a sense of urgency about you.
Yeah.
I think that's important. You know,
I didn't get the job there either. He just literally shook my hand and said,
First of all,
nice
he's
to
at the
meet
wrong location.
you. The other side of London.
See, navigation's not that good to start with, and then you're late.
It weren't my navigation. I just read the words wrong.
Ah,
New Bond Street and Old Bond Street.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
That is an OMG moment there.
Definitely. But guys, I love your business. I wish you all the success, man.
Thank you.
And I'll continue to plug it and preach the hell out of it to anyone that will listen.
To you, man.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's
appreciate
amazing.
you having us on here.
Yeah,
and
my
us share
pleasure.
that
As well.
experience,
And
my man.
yeah, so guys, it's a Cryohub in Kempston. They're all over social media. There'll be links to their social media sites and the business on this. And give them a shout. And if you want to try it, give me a call. Come with me. They'll sort you out a nice little deal, and you can try from there. John, Kayan, it's a pleasure.
Having
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you,
Cheers.
man.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, so please like and share the OMG podcast on all its channels. As a good friend of mine says, tell a friend to tell a friend, but never beg.
I love that.
Thanks a lot.